What is up, guys? Andrew Fezzik here. I'm back on the computer, and I apologize if there's audio issues. But yesterday was even worse, so we're not going to do that at all. I apologize for yesterday's video right now. That was horrible. I'll put that right there, right now. That was terrible. But we're going to get back to normal videos. And let me just get started. Dow closed up 70 points after a very volatile, wobbly session. Not like huge changes, like it was down 200 points and then rose up 200 points. Really, it just stayed under 100 points. It just kept going up and down, and the graph looks like that the entire day. Another stock exchange, S&P and NASDAQ both closed down about 0.00 or 0.05%, stuff like that. So not a lot. There's sort of a mixed amount of news. People are still digesting the Brexit thing. A few other things that came out are Trump and Xi Jinping are working towards better negotiations. Trade wars seems to be easing as China has announced they're starting to buy U.S. soybeans again, which I said was what that bill was issued for yesterday. So I think that's good that this is no longer becoming an issue. I think it is. We're starting to move away from there, which is good. U.S. crude rose today. Something big I want to talk about is Virgin Galactic launched their first astronauts into space, the atmosphere. Which just shows the advancements we are making in companies and privatization of the space industry and how companies are working towards space tourism, which is what Virgin Galactic is working towards. So I think the stock might be actually, this company might be a good thing to look at. I don't actually know about the company well. I think it's early on, but I think if people have money to spend, they would buy space tourism, and I think it has potential to grow a good amount. Two other things I want to talk about. A deep breath. All right, let's think. Two other things I was going to talk about here. I was going to talk about. My mind's blanking. Excuse me. Let me look at my notes. Oh, Robinhood. Many of you know it's like this great app. It's a free, no fee app, I believe, on trades, which is very popular. They announced they are not public, unfortunately, but if you're looking for a platform to purchase stocks from, I think this is. I don't personally use it, but from what I've heard, this is a phenomenal platform. It's fabulous. There's no fees in trading. I think that's great. And if you're starting out, that's probably a very good way to go. But they announced they're going to have a 3% savings account, which targets banks even more. It's a no-fee account, no fees, kind of targets banks, with some banks which have mortgage brokers like UBS. Most banks do, so, except for the big investment banks. Most banks like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, TD Ameritrade, TD Bank, they all have fees, and all these investment brokerages this is a growing company that's grown a lot in the last year, and I think this is something to be interested in. This is a threat to the banking industry maybe, because they have gained traction and they might continue. So aside from that, there's really not much that went on today. I mean, it's old news everywhere. One thing I did want to talk about was about subscriptions, because I was reading about it. Subscriptions are becoming increasingly popular, and companies that have their service as like a subscription rather than like a pay like Spotify. You can either pay $120 a year once a year, but this monthly subscription stuff, investors seem to believe, like Netflix, people who Prime, Spotify, all these companies that have subscriptions, their stocks done well. And this is because if people don't have $100 to put down at the moment, they can buy as their paycheck comes in. But another thing I was thinking about was Apple. When I talked about this last week, they seem to be changing into this services subscription. And I think this might be presenting where they're gonna get in, they're gonna make money because people like Apple, people have brand loyalty to Apple. So one thing I wanted to add to Apple, Microsoft's another thing. Sorry to interject here, but Microsoft's another thing. Microsoft is now one of the most highly valued companies in the world. And this is because of their subscription, their cloud subscriptions. It's more business oriented, less consumer oriented. But cloud subscriptions, Office subscription suites, rather than pay and then, updates as, like pay every few years, you pay every month. And you get updates, security updates, features, and you continuously pay, and they'll continuously give you a better product. But with Apple, what they seem to be trying to do is combining everything with the brand loyalty. I think they're going to be fairly successful. They're going to be, they have Apple Music. They have, I think they're going to introduce a streaming service. I was reading. All these things are strides they're making and with the iCloud too. This has been around for a while, but with iCloud's the same thing. As these subscription services might become more effective for Apple, and with their brand loyalty, I think this is another thing that goes on to the long-term future growth for Apple. How they have great brand loyalty, and when they introduce these things, I think they will take hold, and I think as Apple transforms itself, they will do great things for the company. So I think in general, that's really all I got today. Tell me if you like this quality better. Hopefully I don't have any beeping or, the screen sideways. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to figure it all out. But for right now, this is all I got for you. So take care. One other thing. Comment below what stock you want to see tomorrow. I'm still thinking of Boeing, but if you got a better stock, ask me. Procter & Gamble might also be one I do. Because they hit an all-time high, so I want to talk about what's driving this and their stock growth. So I might do that. I'm not sure. Tell me, do you want Boeing? Do you want Procter & Gamble? Or do you want something else in the comments below? So peace out, guys. Have a wonderful night. See you tomorrow.